Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I got in a Picatinny rifle level to take a look at. This one's coming from MidTen and it is very budget friendly. This is going to be made out of aluminum, have a very low profile design, and it's going to fold out of the way when you're not using it. So stick around if you want to learn about it. I'll do a real quick unboxing. I'll go over all the features of it, show you guys how to mount it, and then give some thoughts on it. So as you can see, it pretty much just comes in this plain black box here, but let's get the contents out. So it looks like we get the level and then the mounting tool. Quickly give you guys some close-ups before we start going over all the details. So like I mentioned earlier, this is made out of aluminum. It has a black anodization on it, kind of with like a matte finish, and then it also has the MidTen logo there. As far as dimensions, when it would be out and you using it, we're at like 3.3 inches. When it's folded in and you're not using it, you're at 1.6 inches. Only this little bit right here is what's going to be sticking off the side of your rifle, because this will obviously be over your Picatinny rail. And as far as weight, we're looking at 7/10 of an ounce, which is 20 grams. So these levels are also called anti-cant devices. And basically the purpose of them is to make sure that your rifle stays level or vertical, which is going to improve accuracy, especially on long range, like precision type shooting. Once you get out beyond like 200, 300, 400 yards, you really want something like this on your rifle. This is a scope bubble level, and they are not the same thing. This is used basically to get your scope level when you're mounting it to your rings. This is used for actually mounting to your rifle and making sure that the rifle is level during shooting. Let's say that you have your scope perfectly zeroed. If you can't or tilt your rifle while you're shooting, the bullet will likely hit to the side of wherever it is that you're trying to hit. As far as mounting goes, you can really put it anywhere along your Picatinny rail that you want. Typically it's going to go on your non-dominant eye side. So for me it's going to go on this left side. And obviously you're going to have your scope on here, and then you can put this anywhere that your scope isn't mounted. And you can see it kind of has like this block right here, and that's to prevent any type of moving or shifting or anything like that. It just helps kind of secure it to your rail. If I were to make a recommendation, I would say to mount it toward the rear of your rail. It'll just be way easier for your eye to pick it up here versus way down at the opposite end. And then once it's mounted, you basically undo this thing right here, just loosen this up, and then this will be able to swing all the way up against, and then you can tighten it up here so that it doesn't move. You can also swing it the opposite way if you want it going that direction. Doesn't matter, either way is fine. And then it locks up there as well. And then when you're ready to actually use it, you just loosen that, kind of get it out there, tighten it up, and then you can see that we are perfectly vertical there. And as you can see here, if you're using a scope that has like traditional scope rings, you can just loosen this up, slide this up, and again it'll go right up against the side of the rifle here, barely noticeable. It really doesn't stick out any further than anything else on the rifle. If you are using a scope that has a cantilever mount on it, you may have to go just in front of that mount, but it's still back here on the receiver part, and it still will swing right up against it either way, and you can lock that down in place. So hopefully this will give you a better idea of just kind of how streamlined that bubble level is. When it's folded in, it is super compact. And then when you bring it out, Again, imagine you're back here, 3-4 inches of eye relief. You can easily pick up on that and see if your rifle is level. And so what I've done here is my bipod. I made 1 foot where it's just 1 notch different. And hopefully you can see how much that affects that level. And only being tilted or canted a few degrees, when you get out to, again, 200 yards, 500 yards, you could be several inches off target just from that little much of a cant there. So what are some of the things that might affect your rifle not being level? First thing I'll say is if you're shooting from a bench, the bench itself may not be level. If you are using sandbags, foam rest, or some other kind of shooting platform, it's possible that you're not level in those. If you are using a bipod, it's possible that the bipod is not completely level. Again, you can be just millimeters off from like this left leg length to the right leg length, and it can really affect the results of your shots. If you are shooting from the ground, it's very possible that you're not level. Another thing that can affect level is kind of how firm or loose you have the rifle position against your body, and then especially during your trigger pull. There are all kinds of tests done, and you can find the videos on YouTube where people are using like 6mm rifles or 6.5 Creedmoors, even 308s, and this will be their target line at 500 yards, and they'll have 5 degrees of cant. They'll use like one of the electric level that will actually show them degrees and everything, and 5 degrees of cant is almost not even noticeable to most people, and they can be as much as 18 inches off of their target at only 500 yards. Like it's pretty crazy. And at 2 degrees of cant, they can be as much as 6 inches off target. And again, 500 yards, it's not that far of a distance, but even if you were at 250 yards, you could probably be 6 to 8 inches off, which is basically a miss. So obviously being level is super important when you're trying to do long range precision shooting. People who are serious about long distance shooting, whether it be for competition or their jobs or whatever, are likely going to have an electronic level. Those things are around $250+. This is not going to be anywhere near that same quality or even the same feedback. But if you're just a casual shooter who's struggling with misses, picking something like this up might help you improve your accuracy for fairly cheap. So these are available on Amazon, and I will leave that link down in the video description in case you guys want to find out more information on them. I think there's 60 some reviews, and it's like 4.5+ stars right now, so if you want to read any of those or if you want to pick one up. But alright guys, if you found the video helpful or informative in any way, please hit that like button. It really helps the channel out. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. And that's going to be it on this one. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it.